Hello, everyone. Always gotta check if my sound's working. How y'all doing? Who we got so far? Hey, Aaron. Hey, Shakira. Hey, Sandy. Hey, Laura. Good to see y'all. Hope y'all are doing well today. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Mine was pretty good. Oh, Aaron, you said Hulu works? That's awesome. So you're all caught up then? I can talk freely about the week that was on General Hospital. Some ice cold water. So I'm prepared to talk my little buttocks off about GH. Oh, you just finished Friday's episode. Well, there you go. Well, then you caught up just in time. I will say, I feel like I summarized it a lot shorter than usual this week, just because, I don't know, I found most of the Nina and Willow stuff a little bit like of a letdown, but I'm not surprised about that either. But I mostly summarized that stuff quickly as I could in my notes here. Just cause, you know? We got a storm going on. Is it a snowstorm? It's actually not that bad. Actually, it was plus 6 degrees on Saturday here, which is like unheard of in January in Alberta. We're lucky if we get like higher than -5. But it was a good weekend. I worked on Saturday, but Saturday evening I went to see my friends play a show. Other friends. I have a lot of band friends, you guys. I don't know if you caught on yet, but yeah. Ones that we probably haven't talked about yet. Band called Medical Pilot. Super cool dudes. I'm friends with 2 of the guys in the band, and they're so awesome and so fun to be around. Snow here. Yeah, it's not snowing. I think it's supposed to snow tomorrow. It hasn't snowed in a while, actually, in Edmonton. Not them finally getting caught. Child. Oh, man. Yeah, we talking about that today. I know exactly what you're talking about. And, oh, yeah, Dex and Joss. There we go. Yeah. As soon as I seen it coming, I was like, we're getting that today. Because I remember hearing, like, little rumblings about how, like, Cameron was going to somehow find out about Joss and Dex. And I was like, how? Like, how are they going to spin this? Hey, Isaiah. Just getting ready to chat about GH. We haven't discussed really anything yet. We're just, we're getting riled up to talk about the week that was. And there's some stuff that I cannot wait to talk about. Hey, Kaiwan. Oh man, particularly I am pretty stoked to talk about, Joss and Dex, but I am saving that for a little bit later because I think I want to get the Nina and Willow stuff out of the way first because we might as well. It's the biggest topic. It's what the story that was on the most. And while I summarized it quickly, it is kind of the first thing I put in my notes. I mean, I didn't summarize it that quickly, to be fair, but like I just didn't go into every crucial last detail. Mostly because I think that we found some of the fallout predictable. Like, I feel like we mostly foreseen how unreactive people were to Carly, at least at this point. Not that I don't think that there's certain things coming in the future, but for now, it's a bit of a letdown. But I say we get started. Are y'all ready? Let me know if you're ready, and then we'll get started. Unless you guys want to, if there's anything you want to talk about first, GH related, anything exciting happen in your lives, do tell. We love to chat. Love chatting with y'all. Aaron, you said you're ready? All right. Let's see. Simple Sunny is as crazy as Nina. Oh, man. Dan and Chris aren't great with executing payoffs. Yeah, it does seem like that. They honestly, like, they tell good stories. On paper, it seems like these stories would have potential to have great fallouts, but yeah, it definitely lacks in the follow-through of, you know, pulling it off. But yeah. Alright, since y'all are ready, without further ado, welcome to General Hospital Envy, my GH after show. Let's get into it. We might as well kick things off with the fallout of last week's bombshell, Nina finding out that Willow was her daughter and appearing in her room to let her know that she might be the only one that could save her life. Nina announced to Willow that she was her daughter, and at first Willow laughed and basically called her a psychopath, and Michael, looking dazed, was like, you need to listen to Nina. And of course, Nina told the whole assorted story, that she had twins and that her mother gave one of them to the Bensons and the other to Harmony. Willow asks Michael to leave and has some words with Nina, mainly that this changes nothing. She doesn't want Nina in her life or near her kids, and of course Nina was heartbroken, but probably not surprised, I'm guessing. At least she shouldn't be. Willow, like, by the time Michael got back in, she looked like she got hit by a bus, and it wasn't because of the cancer. Like, I would probably look the same way too if I found out that woman was my mother. You know what I mean? I gotta say, and like I said earlier, the fallout's been pretty underwhelming, particularly when it comes to Carly. Willow forgave her in seconds, pretty much. Michael sat on his anger for basically all 5 episodes this week, before he announced that he could forgive her down the line. The only kind of funny part was that Michael compared Carly to Nina when it comes to lies and manipulations. I can only imagine what that did to Carly psychologically, and I did get a good chuckle out of it. But Carly did tell Michael everything, by the way. She told him when she found out and how she found out, what she did to find out if it was true, when and why she decided to hide the truth from Willow, what she did to continue to hide the truth when Drew was searching for Willow's birth mom. I mean, as much as I want people to roast Carly at the stake, just in general, Michael being the one that was the most sort of venomous towards Carly kind of had me rolling my eyes a little bit, because he's such a petty dude. He's a petty drama queen, and it's like, bro, like, if Willow's not all that mad at Carly, why are you like twice as mad? Like, oh man. I love that Michael and Carly were like, do we deserve Willow? I'm like, no, but y'all deserve every bad thing in your lives, though. Honestly. But yeah, I wonder if he's ever asked if he's the problem, because like, he's like shoving all these people out of his life and being angry and vengeful towards them, and you know, everyone else is kind of being like, just like kind of being like, oh, Michael's being Michael again. Like, he needs to ask if he's the problem, you know? He needs to listen to that one Taylor Swift song. It's like, it's me, I'm the problem, it's me. Oh man, should embrace that stuff. Naturally though, Nina is the most pissed at Carly. and would love nothing more than to rip her to shreds and get her revenge on, but Liesel convinced her that she needs to put all that energy into saving Willow first, and deal with Carly later. I have to say, the way that they're having Nina and Sunny be so sure and optimistic about Nina being able to save Willow, I have this feeling in the back of my mind that, like, maybe she won't be able to do it. Like, she's just too optimistic, and that's sus to me. I don't know. Do y'all get that sense? Like, because, you know, classic soap, surprise birth mother is able to save her birth daughter with bone marrow. And it's just that Nina's so like, yes, I'm going to do it, that I'm not all that convinced that the bone marrow transplant's gonna work. That's the vibe I get. Jake, you said no for real. Who the F does Michael think he is? Seriously, Sandy, Anger Boy Michael. Taggart should be calling Michael Anger Boy. Although that would mean he'd be like, sort of being a Sunny apologist if he did. Anger Boy works well for Jason though, when it came to Taggart. But yeah, seriously. But no, do you guys get the sense that like they're being too optimistic when it comes to Willow? Sandy said, I'll bet Lisa will have to save Willow. That would be an interesting plot twist. Ooh. Do you think that they would, now that I'm thinking about it, and I didn't even, like, fathom this in my notes either, but, like, obviously, the whole Willow keeping the things a secret from Wiley, because she didn't want him to, you know, be scared for his mom and this and that. But mixed with the fact that Wiley is actually her blood as well, I wonder if they're going to have Wiley be the one to save Willow. What do you guys think? Because their whole thing has been protecting Wiley from all of this. But, man. See, that would be a good plot twist, I think. Michael's acting a lot like AJ. I guess. You're not wrong, Kaiwan. But yeah, Sandy, you bet Lisa will save her. I think that Wiley might. That would be a good plot twist, to be honest. Because he is related to her by blood. Well, hold up. The ethics of a child donating something like that, is that even legal? Well, I mean, I think so. Willow could die and I'd crack a smile. Oh my goodness. Hey, Jacarius. Isn't Wiley too young? I don't know. I'm not like an expert on any of that, alright? Have they even considered that? Wiley saving Willow? Probably not. Because, you know, it's still... Wiley was my first thought, but is he too young? I don't know. We need an expertise in the house. Maybe it's legal there, but I'm pretty sure it's not legal for kids to donate here. I mean, it is his aunt, though, you know? But I don't know. I don't know what the legalese about it are. But yeah, I mean, if it is legal and there's no, like, weird thing about it, then I'd say it was a good plot. How y'all been? I've been good. I've been good, Jacarius. I wouldn't be grieving Willow, that's for sure. Or none of Willow's relatives can to help her, and she dies anyway. I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen. Although it would be with the trend of Michael losing, like, these girls. But yeah. Interesting conundrum. If it is legal and it's not weird, then I think it would be a good plot to have Wiley be the one to save Willow. Having said that, it could bring some more weirdness between Nina and Willow in terms of Wiley's safety, if there's like a risk in that. Food for thought. Food for thought. But yeah, let's continue on anyway before we drag this on too long. Sonny confronted Carly too, because he's sure that Carly's reasons were far more about getting revenge on Nina than they were about protecting Willow. What do you guys think? Is Sonny on the ball, or is Carly being sincere about it strictly being about protecting Willow, or is it somewhere in between? Because Sonny does know Carly better than anyone, although like Carly has changed a little bit over the years. I mean, personally, I think it's somewhere in the middle. Hey, de Havilland. Wouldn't mind if Willow dies. She's been annoying through this whole thing. I mean, yeah, like I've been annoyed at Willow and Michael. They could both just leave the show and I'd be perfectly fine with that, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. I think that the writers are too invested, and to have Willow die now, like, I mean, that would certainly skyrocket Nina's revenge for Carly, but we know that Carly can't like lose because the writers just wouldn't want that. Sonny needs to realize that not everything is about Nina. I don't like this version of Sonny. Yeah, and it's funny too because like Sonny also kept the fact that Nell was a secret from Nina, but anyway. I guess he's a different person from back then too, so that won't bother Nina much. Angel, you said, do you think it's half and half? Willow said she didn't want to know, and Carly wanted to get back at Nina. Yeah, I think I agree. I think it's somewhere in the middle. Oh man. But yeah, as for Willow, she was actually debating putting off the bone marrow transplant, not because the donor is potentially Nina, but because she was scared of giving birth early. The fact that she lost her last baby, it scares her, which makes sense. But by the end of the week, she did actually agree to give birth early, because Michael, seeing Willow putting off the transplant as rather being dead than being there for her child. So a little bit of emotional blackmail from Michael, but we ain't. I don't think some people are ready to talk about that. To Havilland, you said, I hope Joss doesn't get pregnant. I don't think that she will. I'm tired of babies being born, and like it seems like every year someone's pregnant, and I'm over it. We need like a 5-year break from babies. I swear to God. You had to be 18 to donate in the United States, but they could totally go overseas or have like a Dr. Obrecht or Austin do it. Good point. Okay. So maybe not a great plot then. In my head it seemed good, but if it is illegal, I don't want like a whole story about like Austin or Liesel doing it illegally to save Willow's life. They don't need to throw themselves and their careers under the bus for Willow, okay? Look, seriously. Oh man. Who are we talking about that's never met Jason? Sonny is Nina's lapdog. Yeah, pretty much. I'd crack up if this was how the plot was going to go and they had to have a shady doctor do it, and that's how everyone found out about Austin. Oh my goodness. Oh, Angel. Oh, you watched The State of Mind with Courtney? I didn't actually. I was planning to, but I got distracted by some other stuff on TV. But was it good? Michael's more upset about the Nina thing than AJ. Yeah, true. Sonny literally killed his father. Is that what did they discuss that? Okay, I'll have to watch that. Maybe I'll watch it before I go to bed. Because it didn't seem long. It seemed like a shorter State of Mind episode. deserves to be pregnant on that show. I'm calling social services on everyone. Yeah. Man. What a mess. Okay. Oh, by the way, I should mention that Sasha and Chase were there as moral support for Michael and Willow at the hospital this week. I still hate that Chase is so cool with Michael. But I did like Willow and Sasha's interaction. Sasha reminded Willow that she came to town pretending to be Nina's daughter, so that would make them fake sisters, and Willow said it was the best news to come out of this turn of events. I actually really liked that. It was funny. I do like the Willow and Sasha friendship. Chase could just leave Michael alone. Chase should leave Michael alone. He treated him like a chump. What if Dr. O is Willow's mother instead of crazy Nina? I think Obrecht would know. I really think Obrecht would know. I don't listen. I'm sure that Nina is Willow's mom. Is Brooklyn pregnant? Let's not put that out there in the universe, okay? I know that Maxie already brought up the possibility, but let's not go there. I don't want no more pregnant people on GH. Oh my god, yeah, how did I forget that suddenly means Willow has all this extra family who could potentially donate? Yeah, she's got Obrecht, and she's got Britt, and she's got James. I mean, not Britt. Obrecht, Nina, James, Wiley. Although they can't, they're kids, they can't. But like, you know, she's got like a lot of blood ties connected to Nina. So Courtney needs to come back and visit Spencer again. I wouldn't mind that. We got to see her interact with like little Spencer a few years ago. We could have her interact with, you know, older Spencer, but I feel like if they do that, they're probably going to try to make Courtney convince Spencer to soften up on Nicholas. Because why else, you know? You caught yourself with Britt. I was like, she can't donate from the grave. Although she could donate her organs, but she had Huntington's disease, so that's probably a factor in certain donations, right? In my opinion, Sam and Dante are boring. Good thing Sam and Dante weren't really around this week. Dante was kinda, but not in anything substantial. I don't even have him in my notes. He was just kind of around for the Esme stuff a little bit. Probably in the minority, but I don't think Courtney was all that bad. You know, when Courtney was still on, I wasn't watching that much, so I didn't really have much of an opinion on her. I truly went by the majority of people on message boards. Like, I remember when I wasn't watching too much, I'd see glimpses of her and Jason. And I would see, you know, like by the time I started watching a bit more regularly, she was with Nicholas, and there was a whole bit with her and Emily, and, you know, a bit of a battle with Jackson and Nicholas, and then of course Jax claimed Spencer was his. And then, you know, once Courtney died. Do I think that Spencer will get custody of Esme's baby? We'll talk about that in a second, actually. I think that's next to my notes, or almost. But we will talk about that. Spencer needs a responsible parent right now, living or dead. True. Okay. Where was I in my note? Okay, so let's talk about Jocelyn. She pretty much had a Switzerland approach to finding out that Nina was Willow's mom and that Carly knew the truth. She understood why Carly did what she did, and she sees why Michael is upset. But it was all still a lot for Joss to deal with, of course. And you know what Joss's new way to de-stress is? Hopping into bed with Dex, this time in her dorm room. Surprisingly, he tells her that he plans on quitting working with Sunny, but that something needs to be done first. and he'll give her all the details after it's all done. Now, I should mention that before Dex and Joss went to the dorms, Joss had a bit of a run-in with Cam at Kelly's. Cam was cold, and Spencer called her out for having some nerve for showing up there. I actually really like how ride or die Spencer is for Cam and his feelings. Although Cam was like, please don't fight my battles. And the thing is, Spencer doesn't even know about her and Dex being a thing yet, but he does know Joss well enough to know that something is off. And even goes as far as telling Cam that he thinks that there's more going on because we're growing apart. The excuse that Jocelyn gave to Cam for the breakup is a cop-out in Spencer's opinion. And we know that's kind of true. But I was going to say that Jocelyn was kind of mad at Spencer for like choosing sides. And the thing with Joss, like, yeah, they've known each other for a long time, Joss and Spencer. But Joss has always been like a complete biatch to Spencer. Like, you know, she like barely tolerates him, and I don't think that kind of merits her, you know, fairness. If Spencer wants to choose Cam's side in this, I think that he has the right to, because Cameron's been a better friend to Spencer than Jocelyn has for sure. Angel said Courtney was alright. She was just a bit naive. Courtney and Jason was good until Courtney forgot her brother and husband are in the mob. Oh, man. Joss can't get enough of that girl, man. Oh, my goodness. I mean, I can't blame her. He's a gorgeous man, but, you know. Yeah. If Lucy comes back and that was the first time I saw Martin have balls, maybe if Lucy comes back, she can do a seance and channel Spencer's mother. Well, we know she's going to come back eventually. Joss was always like the mean rich girl. I'm surprised everyone likes her now. Yeah, no kidding, right? All right, but yeah, anyway, later at Kelly's, Elizabeth shows up to and mentions what Joss's family was going through with Willow having leukemia, and good guy Cameron felt bad for being so cold and left so cold for Jocelyn, and left mid Kelly's shift to check to see if Joss was okay, and he shows up at the dorm where Joss and Dex were half dressed expecting a food delivery. From where I'm standing, this definitely looks like dessert, because Cameron, the look on his face was like, huh, isn't that interesting? I think we are getting dark Cam, y'all, and I am so here for it. Oh my goodness, I want Cam to blow up on Jocelyn so bad, and Dex. I think he'll obviously take it out on Dex because he's not gonna have the heart, at least for now, to take it out on Jocelyn, knowing what her family's going through. However, I think that Cam is gonna spiral, y'all. I truly think it's gonna happen. Spencer loves Jocelyn. Look up. The very fact that she's so I guess HIPAA isn't a thing in Port Charles. Yes, dark Cam, please. Oh yeah, HIPAA. I mean, I suppose it's not a secret though anymore, because, you know, maybe she assumed Joss told him. I don't know. But, like, you know, everyone else seems to know, so it's not like it's just Elizabeth or Willow's secret anymore. All right, let's see. Okay, now we'll talk about Spencer. Spencer is having a bit of a dark moment of his own, hatching a plan to try and get custody of Esme's baby because he doesn't think Nicholas and Esme are fit to be parents, which he's not wrong. And he's even running it by Diane, who tells him it's a long shot but possible, although even Diane could sense that part of his reasoning was definitely vengeance against his father, and if she can see it, so will a jury. So basically, she says to, like, manage that, and if you're serious about, you know, getting custody of your sibling, then, you know, then I'm in. How is anyone in Port Charles still employed as much as they walk off and shifts? Walk off of shifts must just be expected. Laura, you look at the mayor of Port Charles. Look at Laura, the mayor of Port Charles. She ain't even here like for 6 months out of the year, and she's still somehow the mayor. She's got that Tony Gary treatment going on, just like, you know, Finola's got that treatment as well, a little bit. Not as long vacations, but for the mayor of Port Charles, she sure takes a lot of vacation time. I was just thinking about how many times you see doctors and nurses and cops walk off. Not just the teenagers, you know. Great for the plot, not for general employment standards. True. True. Do you think Spencer would win in a court case? I mean, Michael did. Michael got custody of Avery, right? But Sonny and Ava were pretty unfit at the time. Here's the thing, though. Like, I'm kind of weary about any story involving Nicholas right now because we still don't really know the fate of the character with Marcus exiting the role. And that's happening, like, I think in the next couple of weeks here, if not already. Someone mentioned that the Friday might have been his last appearance, which I don't know for sure. But either way, like, it's coming. So there might not even be, like, a custody battle. I mean, there would be for at least Esme. She's in jail, though. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what the child is, one of these upper-class citizens. Or upper-class cities. Rich white people tend to live in. Oh, my goodness. Port Charles is pretty uppity, isn't it? Except for that one part of town that Molly and TJ live in. Laura stays on vacation because she doesn't have an office. Oh, my goodness. Man, yeah, she didn't get a mayor's mansion like Luke did back in the day. Doesn't she have an office? I'm sure she does. Somewhere, you know, in Rice Manor. Or not Rice Manor. Where everyone gathers in the city. I think that her mayor's office is somewhere in there. I think we've even seen it before, but it's just that, you know, we just don't see her doing mayor things. Ever. Even, like, this week, I should mention that I didn't have this in my notes, but Laura actually appeared to Esme and announced herself as the mayor of Port Charles, and that the baby that she's carrying is her grandchild. But she was like, Spencer's your son? And Esme said that. She's like, no, my grandson. Not that it makes a difference. Like, that would still make her a grandmother, but just like a great grandmother. But yeah, it's even... So Esme doesn't have any inkling that Nicholas is the father. Not that she's even met him yet, I don't think, right? Since the amnesia. But clearly, I am convinced that she actually does have the amnesia for sure. But I do think that it'll wear off at some point, and we're going to be privy to it. But anyway, back to what we were talking about, though. Oh, actually not hating on her, but isn't being a nosy busybody part of being the mayor? I mean, yeah, but, like, she's only being a busybody to, like, her family. You know what I mean? Her family and Victor, that's it. We don't see her, like, doing, like, city-related stuff. Getting to know your constituents, putting your nose in everyone else's business. But she's not really putting her nose in everyone's business, just, like, people that are connected to her. It's just family drama. She's just basically Carly. I'd love to see Leslie's reaction. Oh my god, that would be so good. Because freaking Denise Alexander is such a... She's really good at comedy. She is really good at comedy, and I feel like she doesn't get that sort of acknowledgement. But she's funny. She's so funny. Anyway, though. Like I said, I'm feeling weary about Nicholas, or any story that involves Nicholas, because of the fact that the actor is leaving. What we know is Victor is definitely hatching a plan to either have Nicholas do his bidding or getting rid of him altogether should he double cross him. And I think Nicholas is just stupid enough to try, although in all fairness, Laura was egging him on to do it a few weeks ago. He also lets Nicholas know that Ava wants Windermere in the divorce and forces him to sign the agreement to it by blackmailing him with the evidence he kidnapped Esme in storage, as well as the recorded confession, because now it makes sense again with with Esme appearing in the water and coming back pregnant or whatever. I guess the only weird thing is the time of the recording. I am hearing Liz's mom will give Esme the memory erasing drug to make her forget that Nick and Liz held Esme prisoner. Oh God. I mean, I didn't hear that, but that makes sense. I do bring it up in my notes a little bit later, but good point. Good point, Damien. That wouldn't surprise me, actually. Do I think Esme truly has memory loss? I think she does. And I'm basing that on how she was in the spa jail, which we'll get to how she got there in a minute. That's Stavros' house, not anybody else's. Windermere. That's not Stavros' house. I mean, Stavros is dead, first of all. But Windermere was not always a Cassadine place. I think we discussed this a few days ago. First of all, Faison was the owner of Windermere at one point. The Quartermains also had ownership of it. But I saw the origins of Windermere, and supposedly the person that owned Wyndham's, the department store, owned Windermere. Like, they built it. So, at the end of the day, it's just a house. It currently belongs to Nicholas. It is under Nicholas's name. But Nicholas and Ava live there as husband and wife, therefore she has a right to it. Which means that he can give away the Windermere to Ava, even by force. I feel like if Lulu ever wakes up and comes back, she's just going to look at people and go, "Ew, you did what?" to everybody. Pretty much. Man, Lulu's gonna, whenever Lulu comes back, it's gonna be a very different Port Charles. Very, very different Port Charles. But anyway, speaking, or actually, hold on. Speaking of Victor, Martin put him on notice this week that he may not be able to be a great lawyer for Esme, since Lucy is still out there, and that he'd do a lot better knowing Lucy was found, and kind of hints at like a, return Lucy, and we got this. Which definitely gave Victor an inkling that something was up. He clearly knows that Martin no longer thinks that Anna killed Lucy, and that people cheat death all the time, including Nicholas twice so far. And Victor, he calls his people in Paris to keep their guards up since Anna and Valentine were still nowhere to be found, and thinks it's possible that they could be getting close, which they are. They are in Paris, still trying to find the compound, and then trying to find a way into it. At first, a random little boy was helping Valentine, not sure how he coerced a kid to do his bidding. But fun tidbit, the little boy, the actor that played him, is actually the real-life sibling of the actress who plays Violet, Finn's daughter. So, his first little role on GH. Because Jophael, who plays Violet, and the boy that played this kid, they're actually a French family. So French is their first language. First time I ever really appreciated Martin. I like Martin. I just wish that they would utilize him more. I wonder what's going on with Marshall. Oh, we're gonna talk about that in a bit too. But let me talk about Esme first, and then we'll talk about Marshall. So Esme, she ended up in the day spa. Oh wait, no, wait. I forgot to mention. Okay, so on top of the kid doing Valentine's bidding, an old fling of Valentine's also shows up. She's an expert on the catacombs in Paris, being all lovey-dovey with him, trying to get a reaction out of Anna, probably. She held her ground. I think those scenes were supposed to be funny. Sorry, y'all. I'm not an Anna Valentine fan, so I just kind of rolled my eyes through the whole thing. But Valentine's old fling is working for Victor. So it's not going to go well for Anna and Valentine in the near future. Now we'll talk about Esme. She's in the day spa jail, which she was when she was discharged from the hospital. So obviously Martin couldn't get that going for her. Or maybe he meant it to be that way. But I mean, it's the spa jail, so it's not that big of a deal. Anyway, coincidentally, this was around the time that Heather was planning to escape the prison to be with Esme. But Esme was spotted by Heather, and she discovered that Esme has no memory. Heather tried to befriend her, and actually the scenes were kind of sweet, like weirdly sweet. But then Heather had to get a bit crazy, and she kind of scared Esme away, basically. But not before she warned her away from Ryan Chamberlain. And Esme mentions that Ryan's twin brother Kevin mentioned that she knew him. So that's why I think that Esme is actually without any memory, because she wouldn't have a reason to like bring up these people even to a complete stranger and like play that much into it. Because how does she know that Heather even really knows like Kevin or knows Ryan well? You know what I mean? If Esme really had her memory, she'd appreciate what jail she was in and how much worse it could have been. Exactly. Yeah, I am convinced that she legitimately does have memory loss. And I think at some point she'll get it back. And when she does, she's not going to let anyone in on it. Which makes sense. That's also like classic, something Heather would do. So like mother like daughter. But yeah, I can't tell if Heather is trying to get back with Ryan or trying to make sure that he never goes near their daughter again, because half the time she's like flirting with him, and then the other half she's like trying to double cross him. So I don't know. I can't read her. And I think Heather's probably just as confused anyway. Alright. But yeah, now let's talk about Marshall and the Ashfords. But before we talk about Marshall, both Portia and Taggart do not want Trina getting cozy with the Cassadines. And while there's no real plan that has come to light, Taggart definitely seems to have something in the works when it comes to making sure she doesn't wind up with Spencer. And I'm secretly hoping that Gia is a part of it. I'm just putting that out there in the universe. It's the 60th year. We can have comebacks. But yeah, the Ashfords, they have some other drama to contend with too, involving Marshall. Portia and Curtis wanted Marshall to perform at their wedding, and he turned it down, saying he was too scared. He was going to mess it up somehow. Portia takes the opportunity to bring up Marshall's diagnosis to Marshall again, saying that he should find out if he was misdiagnosed, which Marshall was reluctant, and when Portia kept pushing, he snapped at her. Thankfully, we got Marshall's reasonings for why he was so reluctant. He can't bear the idea that he gave up 40 years of his life. He left his wife, missed his son's death, TJ's birth, etc., for a diagnosis that may not have even been true in the first place. And I actually get that. Like, that would be like a hard thing to deal with emotionally. Hey Nathan, good to see ya. Heather Weber is crazy. That's the whole point. They tend to have the bad guys have that love-hate infatuation with people. True. But yeah. So, yeah, I actually get Marshall's reasoning for why he does not want to find out if he was misdiagnosed. That is a hard thing to deal with, knowing that you gave up essentially more than half your life for something that may have not been true in the first place. And again, I have to give props to the actor that plays Marshall. Robert Gossett was phenomenal in those scenes. And I know people can take or leave Marshall, which is, fair. But you can't say that the man can't act. He's phenomenal, in my opinion. He did such a great job and pulled on my heartstrings. He's good at the emotional stuff. Laura, you said, am I in the minority thinking the way that they harassed that poor man into testing was kind of not okay? Patients have a choice, and family doesn't deserve to be harassed in the home. Therapy first, test later. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, Laura, for sure. I think that, well, I don't want to say that Portia's coming from a good place. I think that she's coming from a place where she wants to know what is wrong with him, if anything is wrong with him, because she wants to be able to prepare for anything that could be wrong with Trina in the future. Having said that, she also brings up the fact that he's had anxiety about performing. He did state that he doesn't have problems playing with it, but he has anxiety about really going for a musical career. And that could just be like a mental thing and not so much schizophrenia. It could just be like the fear of like schizophrenia, hindering his career. I wonder which doctor misdiagnosed Marshall. Who knows? Because it was, a very long time ago, and I don't think it'll become a plot, to be honest, because it was, well over 40 years ago. And I don't think he was in Port Charles either, right? So I don't think it's going to come up as a story. But yeah. Portia, I think that she raised good points on like why Marshall should find out. But in the end, it is his decision, so I think that they should really stop prying. But I know that Portia probably won't because of the daughter factor. Portia doesn't want Trina to have schizophrenia. That's the only reason why she pushed Marshall. Yeah, exactly. I just think that she that is definitely her reasoning. But I think that if what she says about Marshall is true, that he's had this anxiety about really going all in with his career, then it's also kind of a good reason to maybe check. But at the end of the day, it is his decision, and she's going to have to accept that. If he decides not to look into it, it is her prerogative. His prerogative, sorry. But yeah, like Portia and Curtis, they tried to reassure him that he's strong enough to face this and to focus on what a new future could look like with Curtis and Portia and Stella and TJ. And then she says, and Epiphany, and I was like, oh my god. Like, I don't know if these scenes were shot before Sonia Eddy passed. They probably were before. But man, like, that just kind of solidifies, like, they had a future planned for Epiphany and Marshall in some kind of way, and we're not going to see it. I felt so sad hearing Portia say that line and mentioning Epiphany. I was like, oh no. Because, at some point they're going to have to address the actress's death. My goodness. The ethics of harassing an elderly man into getting him into therapy. And then talking about whether testing would be wise or not, is what got to me also. Couldn't he play with a band or video it? Angel, you said it was stupid for Marshall to leave his family over schizophrenia. Just seek treatment, especially over 40 years. That's on him. Yeah, it was a stupid move, but I guess back in the day there would have been a lot more stigma about it. But I don't know. Realistically, it was stupid. But it was the decision he made, and he, for whatever reason, seen his leaving as justifiable because of the schizophrenia. And he's gonna have to live with that regardless. But it's gonna be far worse if it wasn't even schizophrenia in the first place. Laura, you said, oh shit, if they write Epiphany out like she died, that could trigger an episode. That would be an interesting thing to do. Having some kind of episode, but it might not even be schizophrenia. I don't know. I think they filmed after Sonia's passing, the way Marshall cried felt like real tears. But he's good at emotional scenes. Like, this isn't the first time we've seen him do that good at crying either. So, that could just be good acting. We might not have caught up yet. It is possible. It's only been a few weeks, right? Angel, you said, I doubt we were going to see Epiphany and Marshall as a couple that much anyway. We barely saw Epiphany and Milo as a couple. I know, but I just think that the writers have been giving Epiphany more story lately. In the sense that, she is becoming a doctor, and it is a thing that's been going on. Obviously she's not going to be seen as much as other characters, but they did have some kind of, plan for Epiphany, and it makes me sad that we're not going to see it. So when she suddenly has a heart attack and some needs of her say that Epiphany passed away, I think that it's weird to speculate what's going to happen with Epiphany, because I think that they are going to write a death, and likely it would be a heart attack. She's had heart problems in the past. But how people will find out, like, it could be something as simple as Marshall going to her apartment and finding her, or even Portia for that matter. It's hard to say. But I know that I'm going to be a mess one way or the other when it comes to finally addressing Sonia and Epiphany's death. Wrestling Gladys. Oh, Alice. Reminds me that we lost Alice too, just like last year. Or a couple years maybe, right? I think that Alice's death, or the actress that played, what's her name? I don't remember the actress's name that played Alice Gunderson, but when she passed away, we did a bit of a tribute to her as well. But her death was kind of, it wasn't like known until a few months later when her sister mentioned it. All right, well, they wrote these incredibly fun, funny, nuanced characters. I want that back. I mean, come on, they wrote a housekeeper who was a wrestler. Yeah, I think Guzzo, like, I know I give Guzzo a hard time, but I think it really did come down to who he was writing under. Because he knew how to write some good, funny stuff. And he knew how to write great romances. Like, he did a lot of good things right. Even under someone as messy as Jill Phelps. Yeah, Alice was last year. Yeah, we did tribute her too. Could be 2021. Gladys does need to be wrestled anyway, playing with Sasha's money. You right. All right, but let's finish off this recap, guys. We gotta wrap things soon. Let's talk about Elizabeth since we've kind of talked about Carolyn. So Liz and Finn told Violet that they broke up. It was weird and awkward. And also Elizabeth's mom is back in town, Carolyn. Initially what I wrote in my notes is I'm not sure where they're going with it. I didn't expect her to come to town. But since we've seen Jeff try to make amends, I suppose it's Carolyn's turn to have a go. But as Damien mentioned, she could come into play for making Esme forget permanently. Elizabeth might actually confide in her mom about what happened. That would be so interesting. Man. But I don't know. I like Elizabeth was so mad at Carolyn for doing that for her, so she would be a bit hypocritical for asking her to do that to someone else just to cover up a crime that she did. But my, how the tables have turned for Elizabeth Weber if she's going to have to rely on her mom to work what she did on her as a teenager to Esme. Angel, you said I feel like Liz and Finn will get back together. Well, it's interesting because in the talk with Violet, Violet even asked if it's a possibility, and Finn was like, no, not this time. So I don't know. Maybe the writers realized that nobody was really liking Liz and Finn as a couple to begin with. Okay, can I get a reminder of the father of Nina's twins? Was it Finn? No. It was another character he played. It was Silas. Silas Clay, who was Stephen Clay's brother, who was the vampire in Port Charles, who was unvampired in General Hospital. But Silas Clay is dead. So so Willow doesn't have an alive dad. She just has a man that looks like him, alive. But I don't think Nina's ever addressed that to Finn, ever. I think Monica briefly did when Finn first appeared, but she didn't even say who she reminded him of. She just said that he reminded her of an old friend, from what I remember, is what Monica has told Finn when he first came on. Elizabeth's mother is Heather Weber's greatest enemy. I think that's what you were trying to say. But I don't know about that. She doesn't seem that interested in Jeff. Giant sigh of relief. It was Silas. Thank you. Oh, yeah, he was the vampire for Charles. Yeah, night shift. Monica was sleeping around when she was younger. What does that have to do with anything? I'm just mentioning Monica mentioned to Finn that he looked familiar to her, and I think that was just a call on Silas. Well, that Nina was never with Silas. So, no, but even like Michelle Stafford was still Nina when Finn came on, and she never said anything then either. Yeah. Like, Nina never mentioned it. Kiki never mentioned it either. And she was alive when Finn was around, too. They must have crappy public health services in Port Charles. Everyone gets pregnant like crazy. No health class for the kids. No one using rubbers. Surprised it's just pregnancy. There's probably some other stuff. They're just not going to address it. Oh, man. God forbid a show called General Hospital educate people on sexual health. Explains why Nell was so crazy. Monica used to be married to Elizabeth's father, right? Yes, yeah. Monica and Jeff were married, I think. Carly kept a paternity like 3 or 4 times. I can only think of the 3. It was Michael's paternity, and then it was Spencer's paternity, and now Willow's paternity. Remember when Robin used to spill the beans? Yeah, she spilled the beans for the first 2. I didn't care about Finn and Liz, but who else can Liz be with on the show? I mean, who says she has to be with someone? You know? Elizabeth can be single for a while. Like, realistically, she should have been single for a long-ass time anyway. Her husband died. And, like, not even a year later, she was with Finn. Unless they put Liz with Austin. That would be something. But I think that they're chemistry testing Austin and Ava, which I think was actually my next point here. Yeah, Austin has been interacting with various people that he used to interact with as Franco, Liesel and Ava in particular. It seems like they haven't given up on this dud of a character in the writer's room yet. They also brought back Mason, hounding him for turning away a patient, sent him with a gunshot wound or whatever, and saying that their girl boss is going to be happy about it. I'm wondering if Selena is the girl boss. Because, like, would they really bring another, like, girl mobster into the show? Like, yeah, Potok is outside of Port Charles, but not by much. Liz would have been backburned, honestly, if she wasn't with someone. Look at Sam and where she is now with her pairing. They're barely on. Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, well, here's the thing, like, this Liz storyline could have happened without Finn. They did not need to bring Finn and Reiko into this stupid-ass storyline. She could have witnessed a random person fall down the stairs. It didn't have to be Reiko. That could have been Elizabeth's 25th anniversary story. And it should have been a front burner, with or without Finn. You don't need a relationship for sex. True. Elizabeth has never stayed single. She man jumps. It's true. It's true. Oh, you think they're helping the Hook? All right. Have a good night, Chikarius. Oh, I dislike the fact that it's Reiko. It was such a stupid plot. Like, I feel like the reason, well, for me anyway, and I don't know if this is true, but it seemed like a good way to address Rebecca Herbst's 25th anniversary with the show. To have her kind of address why her parents have been out of her lives for this long. And, a trauma in her childhood is a perfectly good reason. But it felt like Elizabeth became, like, secondary in her own story when they brought Finn and Reiko into it. Which really made me mad. But Kaiwan, that's a good point. If the Hook Killer is also a mobster. They could, like, Austin could be secretly helping the Hook and not even realize it. Maybe the Hook is Maggie, Esme's nanny. Oh, you briefly wondered if Selena was the Hook? No, I don't think that they're knowingly helping the Hook. Like, they're just saying that she could be the Hook. Like, the third girl mobster, maybe she is the Hook, but we just don't know. They just don't realize that. I mean, the thing is, the first victim of the hook was Ava, right? And Ava had a conversation, or no, Ava overheard a conversation with Mason and Austin, or it appeared that she could have. And then she gets hooked, right? So, you know, maybe the girl boss was lurking in the bushes and tried to kill Ava, and then, you know, it just kind of escalated from there. I don't know. Oh, good night, Sandy. See you Wednesday. Liz is secondary all over the canvas. It's been a long time since she had a leading lady's role. I don't know if Rebecca wants it that way, or... I don't know. I feel like she does, though. I mean, maybe she doesn't. I guess it's possible, but, like... I just remember how there was all that controversy a few years back where she was let go from the show, and then, like, the fans brought her back, and she was just grateful for it? Why would the mob kill like this, though? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, with Ava's, like, it could have just been, like, you know, a spur-of-the-moment thing. Maybe the mob boss wasn't caring at the time and just found the hook and slashed her with it. But then you had to think about, like, all the, like, Trina connections, so I don't know. Who knows? I'm just fishing here. Hopefully they come up with a, you know, a good explanation as to who the hook killer was. Try to figure out if it was political, but it seems personal. Hard to say. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, back to Austin and Mason. Mason approached Maxie's daughter, Georgie, in the park. And he's trying to use approaching her again as a way to get Austin to continue to do girl boss's bidding. And Austin didn't take too kindly with that. And he tried to rough Mason up. And Ava walked in on that. And in the preview, Ava talks about how familiar Mason looks, which confuses me a little bit because, like, like I said, like, they interacted before she got hooked, but, like, she'd remember that, I think, right? Like, it's not like it happened at the same time. Shouldn't Dex be a target too? Hard to say. Oh, I guess two off Joss because she helped Ava. Dex should be a target too. Yeah, no one's gone after Dex yet. I don't know. It's the plot in general is very convoluted. Like, well, hopefully we find out what's going on before you know we get bored of the story. But anyway, that's the last of my notes, y'all. I don't know how I felt about GH this week. Again, I was mostly disappointed in the sort of lack of fallout for Carly. I was annoyed that Michael was the most mad at her. Sunny, Nina, I mean, I do want to see her go all in on Carly, but I feel like I would have been just as annoyed if she did anyway. I don't know. I'm just not here for the story is what I'm saying. I don't care. Man, I wonder if Sonny's gonna pull what he did to Dante to Dex. You know, he's gonna find out that he was working for Michael, and he's gonna try to shoot Dex the way that he shot Dante. And then Jocelyn's gonna run in and cry. Just like Olivia ran in and cried. But I don't think I don't think Dex is gonna be Sunny's son though. That'd be weird. I just had the weirdest thought when Sunny and Michael find out about Dex, maybe they'll bond going after him for sleeping with Joss. Oh, that wouldn't surprise me. Oh, you weren't mad at Carly. Nina deserved it. Oh, well. Like, I'm not mad at Carly either. I'm just tired of Carly constantly winning. Like, I want Carly to actually get some like consequences for her actions sometimes. That's all I really want, you know? Because Carly gets away with everything, and she's always constantly made to like look like a saint, and gets away with like using excuses. But you know, Nina actually has the right to hold her accountable, and I just want to see it. I just want to see it at some point. It's not even a, like, choosing Nina over Carly thing. I just need Carly just to lose sometimes. That's all. AJ's son. I don't think he's AJ's son. There would be no point in making him AJ's son if, like, you know, if AJ's not alive. Then I don't think they're going to be bringing him back again. All the more reason for Joss to hate Sunny. Yep, more of that's gonna happen for sure if he ends up shooting her or shooting him. All right, y'all. But I think we're gonna wrap up the live stream. We've talked about GH, and I'm getting tired. But I'll be back Wednesday to live stream, and What's this Wednesday? 25th. Yeah, like I don't have a reaction plan yet. I think February we're gonna get into a sweeps storyline to react to on Wednesdays, like a classic sweeps storyline. But maybe we'll decide that next. Maybe we'll decide what we're gonna watch on this Wednesday's live stream for the following Wednesday's live stream, and maybe we'll like look at certain clips to like decide. Who knows? We'll see. I'm kind of just winging the Wednesday live streams, y'all. Last Wednesday's was pretty dope. There was a lot of you on here. Lots of you on here tonight too, so welcome. If anyone's kind of, you know, hidden and watching, good to see you. Andy Dutton? Who's that? But anyway, yeah, we'll figure something else out on the Wednesday. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching the live stream. If you liked it, give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.